Alright, class. So we're picking up where we left off with this drawing here. We had done our preliminary sketches, and I started doing this in your class. I've got my basic outline in, and I'm ready to put in some of my color, and after that we'll start working on our final drawing. So I've got my colors here. I'd like to have a kind of a teal color like I have here. So I've got a blue and a green transparent acrylic ink that I'm going to use to do the wash in the background there. Because I'm using the acrylic, it will dry, and when I go over it with other materials, it won't reactivate. Where if I used watercolors, which some of you may have used, those would be reactivated by the moisture in the ink of the pens that I use, or if I went over with some other paints. So this is going to stay down on the paper, and it'll let me work over it without reactivating. So got my palette here, just a white metal. Put in some drops of the blue and some drops of the green. Somebody had asked me about how I dealt with ink that might have moved on me because of running down the paper. So I'm not working on an easel, I'm working on my desk here in my house. But it is at an angle. It's probably about a 30-degree angle. So now it is running down in my palette here. It gives me a little well to load my brush up with a lot of material. And now we can come over here, and you can see the color's fairly similar to what I just did there. So we're going to start in here. I've got this blue tape around the outside edge, and that's going to give me a nice clean line. And you can see it is running down my tape there. I will clean that up after. Something I learned in school is when painting, you want to keep a wet edge. So you see I had stopped and started talking there, and then here it's beat it up. If I keep going with it, it won't get that line that you see, that very distinct line. But as soon as I stop and let it dry, it soaks in. And if you're working on a watercolor paper, that wouldn't happen so much. But if you keep that edge wet, you're more likely to not have that happen. And if it goes into my drawing, I'm not super concerned. I like to let accidents happen. I like to work in a way that's a little more, some people might call it messy. I just think that some of those things are just add some character to it, as opposed to it being just a complete flat color in that background. Now you can see in my palette here, I've used up quite a bit. I don't know for sure that I have enough to continue on the other side of her, because you see I just did the one half. I still want to fill in over here. So I'm just going to put another couple drops of green, another couple drops of blue, get my water back in there, load up. But I would like to make sure that I have enough mixed before I start